Hey, thanks for coming out. The title of this talk is 1.21 something. We thought it was gigawatts.
After this week, we don't know what to call it anymore. We want to take a vote on how you pronounce gigawatts. After this thought, we thought we knew, but it might be gigawatts.
Who thinks it's pronounced gigawatts?
Only when preceded by 1.21?
1.21 gigawatts. Okay, who thinks it's gigawatts? Okay, and
who thinks it's jiffawatts? Two guys. Okay.
So, like for 30 years, I thought my last name was Geddes, but now I'm doubting that too.
It's Geddes.
Geddes, maybe? I don't know. Anyway,
gigawatts.
Let's jump in.
1.21 gigawatts. Okay. So I'm going to introduce Dave. Talk a little bit about him. He's my friend. He's a committer on the Angular source team. He's refactored some of their stuff and helped out on the project there.
Mostly just making Igor's code better.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I do.
Right? He said yes. So he's also a member of the Grunt team, and he's a dad. He's father of a boy and a girl. He's got one more girl on the way. And he's an open web architect where we work together. And something interesting about Dave, has anyone seen the latest Star Trek? No? So there's like this real awkward moment. So Dave watched that and thought of me. He has a man crush on me. That's kind of awkward.
You wish.
Yeah.
You wish.
This is what I call a lawn ski. It's a redneck tool, right? So when I was a teenager, we had a lawn ski, and then eventually we just appended ski to the after everything, and it was like our redneck version of coolifying everything, right? Well, Geddes recently, I called him Gedski one day and changed all of his stuff to Gedski, so now this is actually Gedski who...
So when your name's Dave, like, you don't get very many good nicknames, like, your whole life. So when someone starts calling you Gedski, it's like, hey, I actually like that one.
It's after the lawn ski. So this is Dave's.
Oh, no.
This is what he programs to. This is what Dave programs to at night.
I should not have done that.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
It's messed up. It's awkward.
Shame on me now.
But it gets better.
Me to places I've never
It gets better.
been. Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground.
Okay.
This is Geddes.
That was very flattering. Note to self, never tell your coworker what you're listening to when you're coding.
Taylor Swift, man.
You know I get to introduce you now, right?
Go ahead.
All right, so this is Aaron Frost. He is...
We didn't rehearse the introductions, by the way.
He is awesome. I work with him now. This is our second job working together. Aaron has a couple books. One just got published. It's called JS Next for Managers. And his other one, JS Next for Developers, is coming out in just, 2 months? 3 months?
Next year.
Next year. Dude, I was thinking
Earliest next year. It's my fault.
Maybe you should get a different publisher, dude.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. It's O'Reilly. Buy his books. Aaron was one of the first guys in Utah to have a Google Glass. And so, of course, I had to make fun of him. May or may not have called him Glasshole. I don't know. But the funny thing about him wearing this Google Glass around is like everyone like wants to try it. It's like, hey, can I try your glasses? Hey, can I wear your shirt? I mean, it's just like everyone wants to try it. But so Aaron is also a dad. He's got 2 girls and a boy, and great guy. Love working with him. And actually, he's come a long way. Like you look at him now, he hasn't always been like this. In fact, he has a lot to thank to technology, especially Google Glass. When I first met Aaron, this is actually what he looked like. He's come quite a long ways from cat to human, and technology is just amazing.
It's not even funny. It's not even an orange cat.
That's true. I could have photoshopped a little ginger beard on there.
Orange cat, yeah.
So, I mean, the transition was a little awkward for everyone, you know, when he was kind of making that jump. But now he is where he is, and I love him. He's a great guy. So we work together at Domo. Anyone heard of Domo?
Domo's awesome. Domo loves the web. We're a BI company. We do business intelligence, and we're doing things that haven't been done before. It's fun. And working for a startup with a ton of funding is awesome. And tonight, actually, we'll talk about it at the end, but we've got a party that we want you guys all to come to. If you guys like Angular, Igor's going to be there from the Angular team, so don't miss it. There's flyers out in the foyer.
Pretty sure Igor's buying everyone dinner too, so just
there will be dinner there. There will be dinner there.
All right. So we want to talk about a few awesome technologies. Node.js, Chrome packaged apps, and Angular. And we're like, okay, how do we fit all three of those into?
It's too much to talk in 40 minutes, right?
So if you're hoping to come out of this having learned,
like now you're
anything,
a master of Node or master of Angular or Chromeapps,
or even having any idea what we're talking about, you may want to go to a different session.
Yeah, we're just here to give an idea of some of the cool possibilities that weren't possible a few years ago that these technologies are making possible, and hopefully everyone here takes some of the ideas, takes some of the stuff that we're going to put out there that we're floating today, and goes back and writes some brain crushing apps with these technologies. So
we basically just want to show it's not just the web is the platform. The web is the platform. These kinds of things were not possible even a year ago, some of the things we're going to be showing today. So just take it with a grain of salt, hopefully enjoy it, and just hope the takeaway is that maybe you had fun, you walk away excited to learn more about these technologies.
Yeah. So let's wait.
Oh, before this. Okay,
yeah.
So Aaron and I, we've spoken at a few conferences. I spoke at JSConf last year, Rich Web, but we're pretty much noobs when it comes to speaking.
Not noobs, but we have some bad habits.
So Zakis, is he in the audience here? He wrote a great article last year. There he is. He wrote this great article on public speaking, all these tips, and they were way over my head. So I'm going to give you my version of my tips. So in case you read his article and felt like you want to jump off a bridge, here's my tips that you can maybe start with. And these are things that Aaron and I are working on.
Horrible.
So the first one is don't say
Don't.
Just don't do it.
I say it all the time. I learned Spanish. I learned how to say in Spanish so that I could say all the time. I say way too much, right?
The next one is so. This is my killer. I say so all the time. Is another one. And then if you're from Utah or know someone from Utah, you'll know about this one.
Utah? Yeah.
That's right. I can literally use all of these in the same sentence. Every sentence. There you go. You heard it. So we're trying to not do these anymore. So we actually want your help.
Yep.
Here's another tip that I'm still trying to figure out how to work this one in. I'm pretty sure I got this one from Zakis as well.
But we haven't perfected it.
That one's not really working out yet. So we actually need some help from the audience. Anytime we say one of these words, one of these 4 words, we want you to troll us during this presentation.
Practice.
That was it. So who can give me an annoying sound that we can all try to emulate?
Practice. Bam.
What was that? Guy. I don't know what that was, but that was perfect.
That was great.
Okay, let's try it. Everybody try that little sound. Who did that? Do it for us loud, bro.
That was bad.
Okay, let's try it. Ready, go.
Okay. If you hear us say one of these 4 words, please troll us and make that noise. As we go throughout the presentation, we're going to make it easier and funner to troll us. But to start, we're going to ask you to troll us like that. Is that okay? Anyone who can do it, raise your hand, please. Okay. So let's practice it.
False positive over here.
Get
out.
Practice it.
So.
Oh, wow. That's good.
All right. So
yeah, good.
Awesome. All right. Let's jump into the first technology we want to talk about.
By the way, you didn't troll him when he just said so. So, Chromeapps, they're fun when you're building them. It's
dude, you're bad at this.
I am horrible, and these guys make it worse. But thank you. Keep going. So one of the funnest things when you're building Chromeapps.
Hold on, I'm hearing pretty good trolls from over here, but this half is like the SharePoint conference.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Come on,
guys. It's
step it up.
Come on. Yes.
There you go.
I almost said one of the words. Auto updating. When you're building a Chrome app, one of the funnest things, one of the coolest things that you get to do is when you have an update, you can automatically deploy those updates, and your users are going to get them without any sort of install prompt. It makes a really thanks. It makes it for a really easy deployment and update thing. You don't have to build in any custom deployment of your apps, and it makes it easy for your users to get the latest stuff, and It makes it a better experience for your users.
I'm starting to think this was a bad idea.
It's about to get way worse. Just wait. Like, this is nothing. So they're offline by default. When you're building a web app and you need something that's got a native feel, native look, you need it to run in offline mode. You need it to be built for offline first, and Chromeapps make that kind of out of the box, and they kind of push you towards getting it offline out of the box. And they're trolling me. I'm not saying anything. That was a troll. That was good. I didn't think you'd do it. You got it. Good job. So getting offline by default is great. Reuse of code from web apps, like, we don't want to go out and build like JavaFX apps and other native client apps. If we've already got a web app, we can reuse those same technologies that we already know, which is the web, and we can build Chrome package apps to deliver powerful solutions that have more APIs than even a website will. They actually have native like APIs. We're going to show off some of them today. So that's a fun one. It's sandbox. So that was 2 in a row. Who's ever got one of these on the web? Right? Like, all of us, right? Like, what's this going to do when I install it? I have no idea. All I know is that the publisher could not be verified, right? And when I install 20 of these, I end up with this, right? Like, there's no limit on what installing a native app can do, and the Chrome sandbox makes it so that they're locked out. They can't do whatever they want to your machine. They can't upload your files to a foreign country, or they don't have access. Like, it's all sandboxed inside the same framework that Chrome and websites are sandboxed in, unless they request special permission to, like, your file API, and you can do things like that. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thanks for trolling me. So this is what it looks like when you install a Chrome app. You get something like this, and it tells you the exact permissions it's going to need. If it needs your file system, it's going to tell you. If it needs your microphone, it's going to tell you. And it's really powerful. Chromeapps make it great for users. They have hardware access. They can access Bluetooth. They can access USB, serial. They can access your file system, your webcam. When you're using like WebRTC in a website, every time it loads, the person's got to authorize it. But in Chrome package apps, they don't have to authorize it every time. It's kind of nice. It's got a marketplace, so you can distribute your stuff. Thank you. And it makes it easy to get your stuff out there and have a place where people are going to be coming often. It's the web, right?
I think you got actually worse progressively.
I did.
As you went through.
It's back to SharePoint Conf. Okay. Thank you. So we
all right, enough with
let's stop for a second. We're going to give you a different way to troll now, because you're kind of dying off anyway.
Plus, it's not really working. I mean, look at him and look at me.
Yeah.
Dang it.
So if you guys, we built a little Chrome package app that we can manage how often you guys want to troll us. You got that going?
Yeah.
So with an extremely small amount of code, we got a Chrome package app running, and we want you guys. Right. So we just did something that you don't do as a presenter, right? Like, give control of the microphone over to the audience. But if anyone wants to go ahead and tweet FluentConf, Gigawatts, and the word so, like, or
Only when we say one, though.
Only when we say them, obviously.
And that actually was Taylor Swift's voice. She's better live, I promise.
Yeah. So you guys literally have control of the mic, which is unfortunate for everyone. We're all going to come out worse people because of this.
So this is what you tweet right here. So here's the hash. These two hash FluentConf.
Yeah, we must have said it.
There it is.
That's going to be happening throughout the presentation.
And we're going to keep track. Maybe we can improve. You know, when you measure things, you improve. So
can I show the code a little bit?
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to show. Thank you. Good. Perfect timing. So the manifest JSON. This is kind of your way into a Chrome app. This is really the large difference between a website and a Chrome app is you have this manifest.json. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Is this on the internet? That's a lot of people. Anyway.
We practiced like
so
with just us.
With just a couple config things, you have a full-on. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Turn down a little, bro. So with just a little bit of config, you get something that's completely installable, offlineable, that your users get all those features we talked about, and it runs and feels like a native app. And there's tons of features we didn't even show you to get it more native-y, and you just add those parameters or just string configs and JSON configs inside your manifest.json, and they're great. So, yeah.
All right.
So Dave gets to talk on this next part while you guys are trolling him on Twitter.
I was kind of enjoying watching you struggle with those goats screaming at you. All right, the next piece I want to talk about, okay, for reals, only do the tweets. They got to be legit because we're counting them. All right. The next piece I want to talk about is Node. Anybody here use Node? Okay, so Node is just a very lightweight server-side JavaScript engine. It uses V8, the same engine that runs in Google Chrome. It's got a lot of benefits if you're doing real time, like we're doing. Thanks, Taylor. That's so hard, man. So the real. Thanks for coming, everybody. All right, so Node is great, especially if your front-end app is this rich JavaScript app, and you only have basically services and security on the back end. Node can be a great fit. The code reuse can be fantastic. Like if you're using the async library, you can use it front to back. Your validation front to back. You get a lot of reuse out of your code. It's also more productive from what we've found. You're not doing this context switching. There's been studies that show you lose up to 40% of your productivity every time you make a big context switch. For example, going from Java to JavaScript. So if your backend can be in JavaScript as well, there's opportunities for productivity with Node. And it's the web. You know, you're using web technologies front to back, which is it's a big win. All right, we got to turn off the Twitter thing. Do we enable a way to turn that off?
If you check out the next Git
right.
repo, it'll turn it off.
Okay. So now we're going to do a little demo of using Node. So now we're going to let you guys troll us in a different way.
Yeah, we're killing Twitter. So put your phones away. People on the internet, sorry. Well, wait, people on the internet, sorry. They're going to have the URL.
Yeah, you still need your
really
phone.
Bad.
Yes, it is.
But be serious on this next one because it's more dangerous than the one we already showed you as far as the real-time implication. Can you show them that link again?
Oh, yeah. So head over to this link.
Got a nice vanity URL for you, bit.ly/FluentConf.
You'll see a little app, and there are 4 buttons. One for so, like, and So now we're going to use WebSockets. So every time we say one of these words, we want you to hit the appropriate button. We're going to keep track of the count, and Taylor Swift is going to sing her little solo.
So it's going to take a second to load. Like the error will go away once the WebSocket's connected. So when you guys see that, just know that. Let it load for a minute.
We ready to turn it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn trolling on, man.
Live trolling.
Okay. So far we've got 1 like.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I said so, apparently. Twice a day.
Even worse idea than the previous.
Way worse. Wrong button. There we go. 8 of them. 11. Thank you. Good. That's
Okay,
way worse. It's like playing the audio file like 8 times.
So what's cool about this is the packaged app is now connected to a server through WebSockets, and then this little app that you guys are hitting is connected to that same Node server through WebSockets. So anytime you hit a button, it's sending the message to the Node app, which is then sending it down to our native packaged app running on our desktop.
And wiring this all up with Angular and with Node sockets, with WebSockets, you save so much code. The WebSockets versus traditional AJAX and REST endpoints, and then using Angular to get the two-way data binding, it's wicked easy to get this kind of integration, these kind of live updates with just a few lines of code. You've got a server and a client piece working together, and we've wrapped them up into a Chrome package app, so this stuff all gets saved. I mean, if we open it in offline mode, it would work, but...
I'm turning it off, bro.
Did you turn trolling off?
You want me to leave it on? But I'm about to speak.
That's fine. Go ahead, man. I think you should leave it on.
All right, I'll leave it on.
Leave it on?
Yep.
Okay, good.
All right, the final technology we want to talk about today as we fit all these 3 together is Angular. So Angular is a web framework by Google. It's got a lot of things that make it really fantastic for web apps. All right, bye. One thing is it's just anti-boilerplate. So at Domo, we are rewriting this massive Angular or massive backbone app. It's over 120K lines of code. We're rewriting this thing to Angular, and we're not done yet. We've got a lot of work to do, but we're taking just basically a feature at a time. And every feature we rewrite, we cut out like 50 to 80% of the code just goes away, lines of code, and we're using what's that? Play-Doh to track everything. So it's Angular is an awesome. I can't do it. Mute.
You didn't know, right?
Oh. All right. So Angular is designer friendly. You can have your designers can, especially since it's more declarative, they can work with the components that you've used. You can write these directives. It's team friendly because a lot of teams have like one or two really good front end guys, and then the rest are kind of getting up to speed on the front end. So if you can have those one or two guys writing these components, these directives, then everyone else can just consume them and really fly.
We were kind of shocked at just the different range of people that it appealed to. The designers loved it, but also our backend team loved it, and the guys who were coming up to speed on Angular, and also the guys who already know JavaScript and are solid at it. It appealed to everyone, and so it's been a great addition to our stack.
The other thing is it provides structure for your application, so you know what goes where, you know where to do DOM manipulation, only in a directive, as opposed to, how many times have you written or looked at some code and it's manipulating the DOM, it's talking to some database, it's doing validation, it's doing business logic, and you look at this like mess of selectors and jQuery, and you're like, who the heck wrote this
the
garbage?
Model view and controller.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh wait, that was me like 3 days ago. So Angular provides some structure. You know where to put things, and you can actually, this helps with testability, because when you're only doing DOM manipulation in one place, you don't need the DOM to test everything else. And they have dependency injection so that you can mock your dependencies really easily when you're testing. It does a lot for testability. And it's the web. It embraces HTML rather than trying to abstract it away. It basically imagines what would HTML look like today if it were designed for web applications as opposed to static documents. So we love Angular. It's a great tool when you're writing web apps, even if those web apps happen to run in a desktop app like with Chrome package apps. All right, so the next way to troll, I'm going to show you a little example of Angular. Let me get step 3 on this.
This is a mashup of Angular, Chromeapps. Is that it?
All right, so what this is,
Chromeapps.
I am using Angular in a Chrome packaged app to use the highly reliable speech recognition API.
That never makes mistakes.
And doesn't like Aaron's voice as much as it likes my voice.
That was intentional.
Period. Oh. So every time I say one of my words, like, so, or that. So you could have this running while you're coding, or while you're talking to somebody, and if it happens to say one of your words that you don't like, then you can have this thing go off. But it's configurable. Since I wrote this as an Angular directive, let me just show you this. I made a custom element called troller. So this is what's so great about Angular, is because we all know that the troller element is going to be a standard element in HTML6.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait 3 or 4 years for the browsers to all support it.
It works now.
It works right now.
Yeah.
So troller, I can pick, let's say, I don't know, what's a good word?
Give us a word so you guys know it's live. Boom.
Boom. You say boom like way too much. Or what else? Boom or...
Aaron? Who said that?
Or
Come on, man.
what else? What's that? Angular.
What? Come on. C#.
In Aaron's case, he's always raving about Silverlight, so let's put that one.
Silverlight.
All right, let's refresh our app and see if this works. The other day, I was building a Silverlight app with Aaron.
Not a true story. You got a caps?
Yeah.
Oh, did you not do the case thing that we talked about?
What do you mean? Moving on. Okay. So Silverlight detection, blah, 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 testing, Silver Knights. That's actually what I love about this, is the accuracy. I mean, you think Siri's accurate. No.
Accuracy, anything Siri is accurate.
Yeah, you could totally drop this into your application today and have it transcribe your voice almost as accurate as Microsoft's does when you get your voicemail.
Silverlight.
Boom! Now notice the reason why there's that delay, because it's actually a pretty cool API. Every time you say something, it's guessing, and then finally it settles and says, okay, with 97% accuracy, I think he said this, and then that's when we do the detection and make the goat.
It'll go back and erase pieces if it realizes you're talking about a different context. It's a really, really powerful API. It's pretty cool.
Which actually, the last time we practiced this with a few people, and we were just talking normally, and it put all sorts of inappropriate things on the screen. So,
but then it would instantly, after 2 seconds, switch them back for the proper words that you can say.
we are not responsible for any of the text that's appearing on the screen right now. So anyway, this is cool because it's all the complexity. Let me show you this directive. Troller. Okay, so I made this directive called troller, but I encapsulated all the complexity of this thing into this. It's only 81 lines of code, but if you want to consume this component, this Angular directive that I made, you don't have to know anything about my implementation. It's completely encapsulated. And with just a line of HTML, you're starting to use this component that I wrote, which is really nice. All right. So here's the thing, though.
This isn't any better, right? We're still just as bad. I just said it.
Yeah, you did. It's not working.
When we started, right? It's not working, right?
I think we need to up the game.
So we got to up the ante. We got to make it hurt more when we say these things.
So anybody done any anybody here a dog trainer? Okay, so there's this thing called clicker training. Everybody heard of clicker training? It's basically it's following the ideas of operant conditioning, where you either reward the dog. Clicker is the positive. You reward the dog instantly after they do some positive behavior. The other spectrum is they punish the dog instantly after the behavior. And so we actually built this little box. It's called a USB Zapper.
This is the worst part of the Prezzo ever.
You thought the other stuff was a bad idea. Okay, so here's what it looks like in case you can't see it. USB Zapper. I'm actually really surprised and was really happy when they let me through the airport security.
Yeah.
It totally looks like a detonation device.
That's a USB zapper.
You even have this, the classic red button. Beep.
Yeah. Oh, totally USB zapper. You don't know?
Dude, they let me through. It was pretty sweet. So here's what it looks like on the inside. So I got to tell you a little story. When I was younger, my older brother got married, and they had this big fancy wedding reception for him. And they had all these nice tables out, and they put these disposable cameras on every single table with the idea that, guests could come and take pictures and get more candid memories and all sorts of stuff. And they didn't realize until it was too late what a horrible idea that was, because me and my little brother figured out that you could actually take those things apart and take out the flash from those and charge the little piece in that and shock the crap out of people. And so we did. We were going around the reception just zinging people as we walked by. It was like the best reception I've ever been to. But anyway, the inside of this thing is actually the flash from a camera, one of those cameras. So now that I'm grown up and a lot more mature, I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. But anyways, we've got a little battery in there that's charging everything. And what's cool about this is we're going to communicate with this little box through our Chrome packaged app. So one thing that Chrome packaged apps have that regular web apps don't is access to Bluetooth, serial port, and USB. So we're going to hook this up to the USB port. Actually,
they actually have access to a lot more APIs than that, but we're going to be showing off the serial one right now.
Is there anyone in the audience that doubts that this is going to be real?
Does anyone think we're not going to shock ourselves and just pretend we're going to shock?
All right.
Scott, Cameron? Scott, come here, bro.
All right. So there's a min and max. What do you want?
50%?
Let's go with 50.
Can you do 50?
Don't hold with both hands. 60.
Give
All
me
right.
60%.
I don't think it's real.
Don't hold with both hands because they'll send a current right through your heart. And we didn't have time to have our legal department write us a document. So by holding that, you agree not to sue us, regardless of what happens.
So we can manually fire this by pushing this red button. We're going to just show you guys that it is shocking.
You ready, bro? Take it like a man. Be brave.
You feel it? Is it
All
on?
right. A challenge, I see.
You're just pretending. All right, good.
Igor, come here, buddy. Come on up.
What did I do?
You wrote Angular, bro. All right.
50%?
So, you know how you guys released?
Go all the way. Go all the way.
100%, dude.
You know how you guys released, what was it, 115? And there's that bug that broke my production code, and I had to revert back to... Thanks, Igor.
Oh, that was great, dude.
Give Igor a round of applause. Nice job.
We got one more.
Zakis, get up here, buddy. Zakis, did he leave?
Zakis, come on, man. Come on. Box needs you up here now. Deal. I'll Zakis shock me.
All right. So let me show you what we've done here. I'm going to check out the next step.
Wait, he's gonna shock me. I'm down with that.
You're gonna let him shock you.
Yeah.
Come on up.
Someone take a pic of Zakis shocking me?
All right. You want min or max or what?
I want 100%.
Okay.
Straight through the heart, dude.
There it is. Do it.
That is messed up.
All right. Let's applaud his courage. All right. So let me reload this, and now we've hooked up this.
Did you check out 4?
Yep.
All right.
Let me just reload that extension.
So we've hooked up the shocker now to the Chrome app and the voice recognition API.
You're holding it, Max.
Man, that was bad.
So you're saying Max then? All right.
I don't know if I can do it. Seriously.
I'm kind of enjoying this part. You know, I mean,
Dude, 50%. I don't
okay, fine. All right, 50%. Here we go. Let's launch this thing. So now every time it detects one of the words or so, I actually wonder if I like save up a few of them, like so, or maybe so, or if I do so or I wonder if I let them all go at once.
Talking, which won't happen though. You never stop
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It actually knows your true feelings, and it transcribes what you meant to say. But wait, who has the man crush? What was that? All right, here we go. All right, so that's kind of fun. Let's jump back in the Prezzo and see where we're at with this thing. Are we getting any better? Are we saying these words less?
I don't know why he's holding you.
Dude, this is where it comes down to mice and men. Someone's got to
All right,
do
here,
it.
I'll take it.
Oh, wow. Guys,
take it.
I did not think he would do this. Hello? Told you. That's 50%, man. He couldn't do 100.
I don't wait, man. I can't take it.
Imagine trying to develop this thing and you're the only guy that will take the hits. He won't take a hit? Not cool.
All right, so another public speaking tip I think we can add after today is don't let the audience troll you.
Yeah.
Um,
So we wanted to hook the shocker up to the WebSocket thing, but then I would have died. Okay. Did you turn that back on?
no, I don't. Probably.
Oh,
We
yeah.
wanted our hearts to keep beating, but
Yeah.
basically to summarize, we've got these 3 awesome technologies, and everything you've seen here is JavaScript. So we are shocking ourselves. We're doing voice recognition. We're communicating real time.
We've maintained the content security for your user without forcing them to install some, unknown source.
And it's all with the web. It's all with JavaScript. So it's pretty awesome that you can do this today. And that's basically what we have. If there's anybody here that would like to come up and try getting shocked, you are welcome to come.
You can come talk to us at our office hours at 1:45. We'll be out here at wherever table A is.
And tonight we're throwing
I don't know. What the...
Tonight we're throwing an Angular party. Our company is sponsoring Domo. It's over at the Clift Hotel. I'm doing an Intro to Angular workshop, so if you didn't get anything out of this, like me, you can come and kind of get more of a deep dive, get hands-on. Bring your laptop.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got Node and get installed.
If you already know Angular, though, and you want to just come hang out, get some drinks, some food, and talk to like Igor and some of the other cool people that will be there, just show up. We'll be in 2 separate sections where we're going to have a class. We're going to have a hangout section. So even if you don't want to do the thing, you already know it, like just come and hang out. It'll be fun.
So that's it. Thanks for coming, everybody. We got time for Q&A if anybody has.
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't believe this is shocking. Come on up. Well, you actually have to hold this while you ask your question in case I don't like your question.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Is it still going?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, just manually shock them.
I'm gonna. What? Are the mics still on?
So it's not necessarily related to Chromeapps, but we're going to be writing a lot of scale single page apps, and we're analyzing different frameworks.
Sorry, what was that?
I don't understand your question yet.
Great
Keep
question.
going.
Great question. Next. Anybody else have questions?
Backbone to Angular.
Yes.
We're switching. We didn't.
Well, you're hearing the process.
Yeah.
Any
So
He still hasn't asked his question, believe it or not. He's still asking. Hold on. I'll repeat it once he asks it.
concerns about that everything has a global name?
So you're switching from Backbone to Angular. Are there any concerns that in Angular everything's got a global name?
So yeah, what we've done is we've broken it down into features. So like we'll have a major feature will have its own Angular module, and we'll namespace everything inside of that. If Igor will ever fix the namespacing to be better, then you won't have to do that. But he sits like right there, and you can actually borrow this if you want. But
So the way we've done that is the module function on Angular, it's actually a getter and a setter. So if you pass it 2 parameters, the name and then an array, that's a setter. But if you just call module with the name, it'll get it. So that's how we just daisy chain all of our directives and controllers all off, but with that getter, so we don't actually have to like put everything out in the global so that we can access it among things. We just kind of do it that way.
And we actually ripped out the backbone router, and we're letting the Angular router handle
Load it.
everything, including the backbone routes.
Yeah,
So
that was a big thing.
eventually we won't have any backbone, it'll all be Angular, but
That took a lot of time to figure out which of the 2 routers we would go with, but we went with Angular router. It's easy.
yeah. Any other questions? Everyone's like afraid. I don't want to ask my question.
Node Troller was only used. Node was only used for the WebSocket one. Yeah, good question.
So you can't actually use Node inside your Chrome packaged app, but you can use, there's a lot of libraries that you can use, including, if you use something like Browserify, then you can use pretty much any Node library that can run through
in the
that.
browser. Go ahead, man. How are we integrating our data visualizations with Angular? So I'm going to defer to my man because he's working a lot on that.
So we're playing around with D3 right now and writing Angular directives that call down into D3. There's been a few good blog articles recently on that. Brian Ford wrote one, and there's a couple others. Basically, the integration between Angular and D3 can be really nice. You get this kind of declarative, just drop a chart in your HTML, and that maps to a directive which sets up all the D3.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question? We haven't hit any performance issues yet. Misko talks about if you have like 2,000 plus bindings on a page, and you're using costly functions on your scope, then you can start to hit some performance issues. Angular comes with a Chrome extension called battering that lets you profile and see where those costly functions are if you do hit them. And then as the browser gets Object.Observe later this year, next year, then Angular, I assume, is going to use Object.Observe, and which means the dirty check, the part that could have the performance issues, just goes away. You get like a 20 to 40% speed increase on Angular once that happens, even more than that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So yeah, but just be careful. Try not to do too many costly functions on the scope. You should be good.
Great
Any other
question.
questions?
Any other questions? We got one more. We're done.
Yeah. So the question was, with packaged apps, do you ever deploy as just a standalone site instead of a packaged app?
So when you go to the Chrome Web Store and you look for the apps, oddly, a lot of them are just like an installed app that actually just loads the remote site, right? So you can do that, but that's not like what Chromeapps is about. Like packaged apps is so that you've got offline native-like functionality, and they've got APIs like put this Chrome app in the Windows like program menu so that it shows up and looks and feels like an actual native app. And so it's not built just to put a wrapper around an actual website that's out there. It's meant to have the assets stored locally and to use some sort of like lawn chair storage locally.
Yes, because some things are different. Like that WebKit.
I guess it would depend on who your customers, right?
That WebKit speech recognition, when that's running outside of a packaged app, it will work if you have the flags enabled. But it's going to ask the user every single time, do you give permission to run this app, yes or no?
Yeah, can they use your mic to get your input, like your voice?
And then some things that work here, like the serial port, just aren't going to work in the web, without being running in this packaged app.
But maybe Firefox apps have the same thing that you could do.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might be able to custom it up and feature switch. I don't know, but I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard. Anyway.
Okay, I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
We'll be out in the hall for office hours, and then join us at the party tonight.
Yeah, come to the party. It's going to be fun.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Come get shocked. See ya.